tell you, this is how you do that. Just look in your family. Just look where your family stands on the issue of hate. And that's where you start. Where do your family stand? Do you have a family that's hatred of others? Do you have people around you that's hatred of others? Because that's the beginning of where you need to change the color, what's written in your life. So therefore, it is a lot more clear to be understood. And in my family, there is some misunderstanding of what life is all about sometimes. And so we all have to be cognizant of that. You know, I've lost my wife, and some of the understandings that I've picked up on in that situation is that all the hate that you can have, all the dislikes you can have, all of the problems that you can have is not worth the loss of a family member. So therefore, it only leaves one area to work in. It only leaves one area to work in. And that is the two things, at least one at this point, that Martin Luther King talked about. And that is trying to figure out what is your common ground so that you can move in a loving and understanding way with the people around you. Don't take for granted that the time you have to create this understanding, to get involved in a situation where you can make things a little bit more clear. Because soon as you think that you have the time to do it, something happens where that time is not allotted to you. God gave it to you when you thought of it. But again, on paper, you put down a different color. And those are that situation where you feel as if you did everything you could, but really you didn't. You know, you allow time to eat away or things to take up what was you know in your mind to be right. And that's how hate is. When you know in your mind the people, things are contributing hate in your surroundings, and you let it fester, then I think that you are to blame. If you got things you're supposed to talk about to your family and your friends, and you choose to go to work or go to school or go outside or walk away, then you are to blame for when those situations happen and you do not have the ability to have understanding. So God has put down all of your time. You have to put down all of your understanding and make clear that you have an understanding of hope and an understanding of love and an understanding of appreciation for those around you. Because hate doesn't have a place there. So as our politics starts to run around and everybody is, you know, looking at each other like the country's going to go into a handbasket and being turned around and weaved away, it's all you. It's all what you thinking and how you are trying to create part of that weaving of that handbasket. What kind of thread are you using? What kind of thread of understanding are you trying to sow? Is it hate? Is it love? Or is it just pure misunderstanding? And that's something that I think that has happened to us over the years. And creating a little bit of better understanding in our life might help with hate, might help with our family. It might help with better communication at the kitchen table. Because once they're gone, your family, your friends, the people you know that you've hated so much, or the people you've left misunderstood, both in you and in them, where does it leave you? Because all that's gone, where does it leave you? There's nobody to hate that person anymore. There's nobody to be misunderstood by because they're not there. What do you do? How do you move on? And what do you do to make things better? And that is the hard part of life because that's something God only laid one thing down to you: do unto others as you want others to do unto you. That is the guiding principle that you start with, and that's the guiding principle that you lead with, and that is the guiding principle that you die with. So, as you're writing your story of life, how many people have you put into the understanding column, compromise column, and the column of respect? And how many people you put into that column of hate and that column of dislike and that column of I don't want to be around? Let me just tell you, that should not be a column in your life because it doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't give you any benefit in working with God because that's not how God works. And you bringing that to the table ain't going to do nothing to help him look at you any better. All he's going to say is you got problems that you need to work on because I've already laid down the start and finish. What you do in between is up to you. And if you want to take that kind of issue to your last day, then you can't look back and say, him, I wish that thing was different. I wish that I had this better. I wish that this, I wish that that, because that's not really, truly something he could make better for you. At the time, you had all of the opportunity. And the politics of our situation nowadays has always been the time. The time that we're in is where we all seem to be stuck in. We forget of all the people who led their hard lives to make it so that you today, you on your internet, your phone, and your Android, and your iPhone, and your car that drives itself, where did that come from? How far back do you can go to see the people that put understanding together to work toward these goals of life for America? What have you done to do that? Is it just you hearing something that has decided, where you've decided that that is how you're going to be the rest of your life? Have you done something that you say, well, I'm so right that I don't need to be understood? I don't need to have anyone tell me anything. Are you that selfish? Because that's just not how it goes. That's just not how it goes in a society where we're trying to make things better for one another. That only works in a place where the devil lives. Because the devil lives among people who have no care in the world about making themselves look like they're doing anything good for someone else, or even looking like they're having a state of understanding. So look back at yourself. Like Michael Jackson say, take a look in the mirror. But I think it's a little bit better than that. You don't even have to go look in the mirror. Feel your heart. Feel your heartbeat. Are you calm when you're talking to people? When you're thinking about people? When you're listening to people? Are you calm? Are you relaxed? Are you stressed out when you think about them? Or you stressed out? Your heart rates up when you got to say something to them. Because that tells me that you haven't put yourself in a position of ease. Maybe there's something going on that you need to get out. And I don't think that going to an 80 years old house and trying to hurt her is going to get you what you need. It's going to help you understand what's the problem. Maybe you got to take a little bit of step back and realize life is a whole lot bigger than that. Really, it's a whole lot bigger than that. We have to get along. We have to be able to be better. This is not something that's just going to go away. It's what you leave behind. All of that toxicity is what you leave behind to your kids, to your family, to your friends, and to your neighborhood. And I tell you, it's wrong. I spent some time around people that have just had no care in the world. And I spend time around people that all their care has been taken away. But they've shown grace. They have shown understanding. They have shown love. They have shown caring for the next guy. Even though their situation is doomed. Even though their situation has already been written. The ink is already on the paper. There's nothing that they can do. But yet, they are in a position to be able to spread love, unity, and respect toward their fellow man. It's something that I don't understand quite how we've got to a place like this. How we've gotten to a place where America has been so divided, you know, and how some of our people have decided to be so lazy. I'm not going to hide it. In their mindset, their thought processes, and in their abilities. They have been stagnated and have decided that they are going to be accepted of where they are and who they are. And that's not something that I would think you would want to do if you look back on those two people that I talked about. One was killed and one worked himself to death for the purpose of creating understanding, both of them. We're creating the place where we can be better. Holding anger, holding frustration about others, holding hate is not going to lead to anything good. What do you have to gain by hating another race?